a bitch, nigga. Up 6 figures off your whole ass. Bitch ass, nigga. Yeah. Got my granny's heart, but got some shit I gotta say to him. Flew across the country just to groom a Canadian. Thought you was my boy, shoulda knew it from the jump. 35 on tour, fucking hoes a little punk. White boy, you's a bitch, never use the word custom. Almost shit it on yourself when you see them perv busters. The views start to drop, run the porn just to win. Made you wave that white flag and you gon' do that shit again. You were scared to come to the office when I told you I would fix the issues, but you were whack. You told us keep it quiet, don't respond to the rants on the show, cause you were scared to go and act. Fact, when Milk pulled up on you, you was parked in the back, waiting for me, acting like you had the strap. So why is you gangster all of a sudden run your mouth about the boy? Why I helped you where you at? Old age kicking in, must forgot I'm from the set. You flock to the wolves, having problems with the essay. And Juno told you take the shit down to make it right, getting threats, and you said you'll never do it in your life. Why I hit my nigga kill, trying to fix the division. You was home playing poker, trying to dodge a collision. And Bozo, that's my nigga, he told me he trusts me. 45 brown brothers pulled up, it was just me. Talking tough on the net, in real life he really won't. Gotta take me off the show. In court he had a stroke. Two phone under the bus, supposed to be a day one. You ain't got no real friends, could you even name one? Heartbroken to the core, acting like a bitter ex. Comparing views now to ours, 22, they ain't a flex. No, I still keep your secrets to dispose of shit you do. Like why you really fire ski, but that's between me and you. Sucker ass nigga. On our dick week after week, hoe ass nigga. Try to keep it quiet, nigga, but fuck you. I'ma let the nigga that you was just saying you wanna hold on to island all the time and talk to you. Hold up. See real get this nigga, man. Before no jumper elevator in my house. Tell the rich Sorella keep her name out your mouth. Time to air you out, ain't no time to be discreet. Dream the same time as me, but nowadays you can't compete. Big BOF, you see them oranges in the chat. 10 pay me for a year, $300 is smack. So after help interviews, you barely popped out. I'm really from the culture on stage at the pop out. Real big deal, putting plays on the table. Now you call my brother, but fuck it, it's Cain and Abel. Q interview, million views, my team hotter. Basketball, your logo, you would never have Dame Dollar. You ain't Joe, you ain't Tilly, you ain't Wallow. Just a coach of culture, don't nobody wanna follow. Had to leave all the things you would do. The other homie hit your bitch, but that's between me and you. Yeah, nigga, you already know what it is, nigga. We still fuck your mama, you bitch. You hear what I mean? We in this motherfucker, nigga. Big oranges in the chat, nigga. That's how we doing it, yeah. You hear, you hoe? Stop fucking with them little girls, bitch. Stop fucking with them little boys. We gone. I love that. That was 80 and T-Rail. Team snipe, team snipe, team snipe, team snipe. Shout out to the Fed community and back on Fed. I saw a video, and I hate to say it. What's going on with content creators just doing these crash outs? So if y'all don't know, T-Rail, 80, they were with no jumper. They broke away and they're successful. They're doing their thing. They've been on it for some time. And them some real LA dudes. So shout out to them. Shout out to all of them. And shout out to the homie Traffic. And I saw T Rail and Smack going at it. And I'm like, oh, this gotta be fake. I heard some stuff. I was like, come on, y'all, this gotta be fake. This gotta be fake. But I like that song. That was the Adam 22 or Adam 16 diss. They were dissing Adam 16. You get what I'm saying? And it's appropriate. I love that song, King Snipe, because I know it's a king snipe out there. I'm gonna call it. That's his song. That's his theme song. Uh, uh, King Snipe, because I done heard some things about some teenagers with that team. Um. Anyway, you say that's a backpack track. Oh yeah, they were that's what they were. Yeah, they were doing that because someone was you know, doing a little what do you call that? That they were trying to take that same song and do some other things to try to clown some people with it too. Yeah, and exactly, it's a kid's song. You get it? 16. Anyway, welcome. Set in the West. This is Set in the West. Um, yeah. New merch. I got this, and I got the black hoodies. So, well, I'll make the black hoodies available. I'm still trying to test out. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we got. the Set in the West shirts. I will be at the Compton Film Festival tomorrow, 2 o'clock. You could watch Set in the West, and then I'm gonna make an announcement um, after because I'm gonna be interviewed after. We're gonna do a panel. Well, no, it's just gonna be me. They're gonna be talking to me. But if y'all in the town, or if you're in Compton, y'all just come through. Um, I know Dewan B shouted me out earlier in the week. Dewan, just pull up. I'll text you tomorrow and just pull up. I got you. Don't even worry about getting the ticket. I got you. But yeah, all my folks gonna be there. I appreciate it. And again, rest in peace to DJ Dr. Funkenstein, the man who he was the embodiment of hip hop. He was one of the first generation DJs of Uncle Jam's Army. He recently passed about 3 weeks now. It seemed like forever, but um, yeah, that's the big homie. And we're gonna do that in honor of him. And I'm gonna continue to do this unique story on what happened in this part of the culture of hip hop. Well, hip hop has always been here. Don't get it twisted. I'm sick of East Coast talking about they started it. And it's come on. I'm about to really go in and I'm about to really start knocking on a few doors and just start really sitting down with some of the elders and really just getting it because hip hop goes way back. If we want to really talk, shout out to the Watts Prophets, Brother Amd, and all of them. They had a album in the '60s called "Rapping Black in a White World." Rapping Black in a White World. Watts Prophet, 1969 or '68. When was the album? Anyway, I got to sit down with the elder and talk to him about that because hip hop it didn't just start in '73. It didn't just start in New York. It's always been here. But again, set in the West, I am hip hop to the core, the culture, and we about to get it in, right? We about to get into it. Topic of the day: Diddy, Anna Kane. For those who don't know, the woman in that D&G shirt that was sitting on the lap of Diddy in the studio. Well, she was Jane Doe at first. She was a Jane Doe at first. First off, let me say what's up to everybody. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got into the groove. I had to play that Teen Snipe. That's gonna be my new theme song. What's up, Archangel Michael? Appreciate that super chat. I do appreciate that. Barbara J is in the building. Jay Mizak, Yvonne, Young J, my aunt, Auntie Leah. Appreciate you, Auntie Leah. Your merch is coming. I think you're gonna like it. Someone ordered a cruelty free, and it's gonna be cruelty free here, but we're gonna put the QR code like on the sleeve because I got a whole different idea of how to do other things, and we're just developing other merch as well. So bear with us, but everybody, if you order something, it's on its way. Should be there next week. What up? What up? What up? Jaguar Rights in the building. Teen Snipe, Teen Snipe. You like that? Teen Snipe, Teen Snipe.
I mean, I think it's definitely better than some other stuff I've heard
Oh yeah,
over
it's
that beat.
yeah, it is much better. Teen Snipe, Teen Snipe. Well, that's what we do. But yeah, shout out to AD, shout out to T Rail. I was about to get into the Anna Kane situation, Jag. Oh,
Hmm.
who else is in there? Oh, there you go. Barbara J is in. Barbara J, appreciate you. I appreciate those are Canadian Canucks. What do they call the Canadian dollars? I don't know, but I appreciate it. Cruelty free and justice for the Halleys, indeed. Um, we gonna get what y'all about because
We
Jag
got
just
to
went live
update.
and
Yeah.
we got it on update, and we starting to realize what's going on when it comes to certain hashtags and how they are. We're not blocking it. They're blocking. They're blocking. That's what they're doing. Went through the analytics and I realized, oh, every time we include this hashtag, numbers are suppressed. Hmm. Archangel Michael. Thank you.
Immediately
Yeah,
suppressed.
it's not even a it's
Hey,
we're seeing
Michael.
a consistent pattern. So remember, I told y'all I went up against a tech company. I ain't got no problem going up against whomever's running this, Google, YouTube, whatever. What's up? We because we got it's starting to look a little suspicious. That's all. Um, but yeah, Jack, we got the Anna Kane. She was the former Jane Doe versus Sean Combs. So let's give a little backstory.
She was the first major Jane Doe to come forward with a
Yeah,
lawsuit right after Cassie.
yeah, yep, yep.
Hmm.
That she was.
And I
Cassie was
believe
number one.
isn't she? I believe she's also represented by the same lawyer. Cassie was being represented by Victor, isn't she?
I'm not too sure. I'll
I
look
believe
into it.
so.
But Cassie's case, when she filed November 2023, it was for alleging SCX traffic light king abuse, and it got settled the next day. For, well, no, it got settled in. Well, no, it didn't get settled the next day. It did.
24
And then,
hours.
yeah, and then in
24 hours.
2025, she said the settlement was 20 million.
Yeah.
20 million. Lil Rod Jones has a case against Sean Combs as well.
Hmm.
He
That's on the
dropped that.
docket for the second or the
Barbara J.
third week of October.
Barbara J. Appreciate you. Y'all showing love. Y'all are showing love. Oh, and if you order one of these, I'll throw in a DVD for the next 2 weeks. So if you do order one, you will get a DVD, and I'll give you
And
some
it's
other
not
stuff.
just a DVD, it's a Blu-ray.
Oh well, I got Blu-rays too, but I got mainly a bunch of DVDs. But
Oh, okay.
um,
All right. I
yeah,
thought it was
no, no,
D.
no.
My bad. Look at
It's
me.
not
Look at me
DVD, but
capping.
over promoting. It's all good. No, you started mentioning the different suits that were attached to Diddy. Apparently, it's supposed to be over 80 different civil suits that are coming. So
Hmm.
let's let's kind of talk about a few of them. I said Lil Rod Jones.
Hmm.
He's alleging sexual misconduct and a whole
Hmm.
lot of other claims. And then
Hmm.
I think that they said the court partly dismissed some claims, but several
Hmm.
claims, other claims are ongoing. They said the RICO was dismissed, but other things are still ongoing.
So
We
the
got
RICO
Don
for
Jr.
Little Rod's case is being dismissed?
partly dismissed, I believe. Yeah,
Wow. They working hard, ain't they?
they're trying it. They're trying it. Um, Don Richards versus Combs, the Danny Duquesne singer alleges assault and other torts tied to the Bad Boy era. And
Yeah.
that's an docket that she dropped that September 2024.
Hmm.
Crystal McKinney versus Sean Combs, May
Hmm.
of 2024. It says in 2023 assault. That's what the suit is about.
Hmm.
Thalia Graves. This is the person that was represented by Gloria Allred. She alleged an assault and derugging back in 2021. I'm sorry, 2001.
Hmm.
And there's a bunch of Jane and John Doe's.
Hmm.
It's a 2012 incident involving a 17-year-old male
Hmm.
that was filed in New York.
Yeah.
And New York Magazine, Vulture compiled, they said it was about 66 lawsuits counting overlapping related actions.
Hmm.
So there's a lot. Now it's about 80.
And none of
80
them are this
different.
person here.
Oh no, she's not, or is it this way? She's not
No, you were
included.
right the first time. You were right the
Okay,
first time.
okay. Because remember it was backward. Look, it
Hmm.
says set in the west, but it's back. It's like an ambulance. You're gonna call the
Hmm.
ambulance. Like if you look directly at the EMT trucks, it's spelled backwards, but that's what it looks like right here. But for y'all, I guess it's mirrored. Anyway, anyway, no, y'all hit the like button. I appreciate everybody who is in and anybody who has donated. I appreciate it. Barbara, Jade, and hit us, and Archangel Michael, you hit us off. I appreciate that, and
Asheo
yeah,
and amen.
we do appreciate that. Well, let's get to it. Let's get to it. Look, there's a situation with this Jane Doe
Mm-hmm.
versus Sean Combs, who Jane Doe had to reveal who she was because of not this person. It was the other picture. Jane Doe had to Jane Doe had to reveal herself because this person came out claiming to be the person that was sitting on Diddy's lap.
Do you have
The
a
person,
picture of Anna Kane?
um, let me see. This phone be tripping when I do. I don't even want to. I don't want to do it here.
Oh, okay.
It be
I was just
tripping.
wondering if we could get a side by side comparison.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, yeah, this because this phone be tripping. Uh, we can do that later, I would say. But it's
Okay.
funny. Bethany Glick, thank you. I think you placed an order for Jag. It's coming. Yours should be there this week. And sorry to everybody beforehand because I know people were ordering Jagger Right shirts and stuff, and it took weeks to get. Got a whole new program popping, so you guys are gonna get everything quicker, sooner. So Bethany, I know I think I saw your name. Yours is on the way. The cruelty free, it's on its way. Lamisha Fuller. Lamisha Fuller forced the Jane Doe to reveal her real name. Now, Jag, I know you got a lot more insight on that because Lamisha Fuller tried to she got a lot of kick it, as we say out here on the West Coast. She tried a lot of kick it. And she said she met with Jag back in she said something like 2016.
No, 2012.
Oh, she tried to say way back 2012. Oh wow.
She said in 2012, I was her Uber driver and I was driving her around and I was warning her about what to say and what not to say. And I was telling her this and I was telling her that. And I was passing out envelopes of money and whoop-de whoop-de-whoop. You know, it's funny because some of the wild stuff that very strange girl had to say showed up in a lawsuit that we just answered to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know what I find funny? Murad Morelli is like the only content creator that said anything about that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Only one.
well,
The only
no, actually, there's somebody else, a smaller content creator. A lot of people
oh
don't
Teen
know
Tonight.
him, and
Teen Tonight.
no, someone
Okay.
else. He has more subscribers than that guy. But
Okay.
I really don't know him that well. Uh, I've seen him. He's an interesting guy, and I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. But he was just, asking why wasn't I on the stand? Why wasn't anyone on the stand? And
Oh.
and he felt
Oh.
like I was, what's going on with the case and they tanked the case on purpose and he has some really interesting things to to come up with. But the thing is, I've heard other content creators try to ingratiate me or line me up with all of these fake Diddy people. You know, for crying out loud, over there in Atwood Land, that weirdo Ron, who's like low key like a racist, tried to convince me on panel that I knew this imposter. And it's
Yeah.
wild because everyone sat up there and complained. about the fact that I pointed every last one of these people out as fakes. And just between you and I, how many times when, they would ask me to be on panel and to sit and talk with these people, what I tell you, I don't know what they're doing. They're going to kill their platform. All of these people are fakes. They got
Yeah.
to know that these people are fakes. They got to know that these people are lying. They're not telling the truth. I mean, how many times I was just like,
Every
I'm like,
time.
I'm like, honey,
Every
they're gonna they're gonna kill the credibility of their platform if they keep putting these people up there. I was like, only thing I can do is pull the pin on it and hope that they realize, I'm trying to save them some embarrassment here, all to find out later that that's exactly what they were intending to do for the money, using me to pad their numbers, and try to find a way to pull it in. And of course, I think I exposed every last one of these people the entire time. I was able to impeach Adria and Lamisha at the same time using a recording that I had of Adria. Like, and it was wild because the troll farm was so busy trying to find a way to attach themselves to it that they kept trying to convince people that I was endorsing these people when I wasn't. I never did.
no, no. Yeah, even when Ron tried to insist, like, well, maybe you did, maybe you don't remember. Like the the jig was up then. You essentially was over here really trying to convince a person that she met this person, and she's like, no, I wasn't even in the city that year. Like he really was trying to make y'all a thing.
You
That's
want
when
to know
all.
the you
Go
want to
ahead.
know the part that I hated the most after that though?
What's that?
When after Anna King was forced to come forward because Lamisha Fuller and Adria English and Ariel Mitchell and Chris Todd and Courtney Purchase did so much lying that the judge even became confused
Again,
and
Jack,
had to demand.
don't mention Paddington Bear's name. Remember that. Just let's not do that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Remember.
Okay. Well, no,
You
I'm
know
just thinking of all of the people that were involved
no, but they all
in the
were
farce.
included. Yeah, they were included. Just don't let's not mention her name until we'll talk about that later. But you know why.
That's fine. Okay, well, certain attorneys
Mm-hmm.
of
Of a Burberry
of a
of a
false
Burberry
note of a
of a
false
Burberry
note.
yeah.
Um, but they were so successful at confusing the public with their lies that poor Anna Kane was forced to come forward. And I think what everyone thought was going to happen, that once the judge said, no, you can't be a Jane Doe anymore, because don't forget, she had been a Jane Doe quietly and successfully for a year. And she was forced out of her Jane Doe status. And they said, okay, you have to come forward with your real identity because everyone believes that this woman is you. Not even a press conference was good enough. That's how much lying that they did online, mostly on YouTube. You know, these people accepted all kinds of donations. These people started YouTube channels. These people did all kinds of things, trying to derail that woman's case. And she said, okay, yeah, no, I'm fighting. I don't care what's going to happen next. I'm fighting.
Yeah.
My name is Anna Kane, and I want to move forward with my case. And, it's wild because the second that that happened, the next thing you know, here comes the YouTube feeding frenzy. And then people started going into her life, digging into her life. And um, destroying her character. One of the first was Andre Turner Jr. You know, that guy.
Yeah, that no, that piece of shit, not that guy. He's a piece of shit.
And he went in, oh, he couldn't wait. He couldn't wait to rip Anna Kane to shreds and to pieces. And it's funny because you would think that, someone who had been sitting there calling Lamisha Fuller a liar, and I don't believe her, and the simple fact that she knows Jag means she's a fraud. She didn't know me. So stop with the bullshit. But it's so wild because just recently he started talking about Anna Kane again and said he
Hmm.
couldn't remember her name and he couldn't remember. He remembered Lamisha, but he couldn't remember who she was pretending to be and whoopty whoopty whoop. But the video is sitting right there in your catalog. The video of you trashing this woman. Now all of a sudden you don't want to be you don't want to take credit for what you did at all. Like they cracked me up with that. Well, I don't remember. I don't remember. Whatever. It's really childish. What's sad though is how many people fall for it. And now here we are, and Anna Kane is finally getting her day in court. She's asking for discovery. Salute to Khadisha Lynn, who's also covering it as well.
Hmm.
Um, and you know, they're expecting now it's funny because Diddy doesn't want to do discovery, and neither does Harv Pierre, who is saying that he is unemployed, he is broke, he doesn't have any money to go through discovery, and he just wants to be removed from the case because he's broke and he doesn't think it's fair. It was forever ago, and he ain't got the money anyway, so he wants to be left alone.
How convenient.
My
Yeah.
thing is
Well,
Diddy got all of this money to file all of these motions? That's your boy. Hook him up, Diddy. Why do they need
yeah,
separate
man.
attorneys? Why can't Diddy's attorneys represent him? I don't understand. This
Well,
girl said y'all partied on her together and y'all SA'd her together. Why can't y'all be represented by the same attorneys? I don't.
let's go back before we start talking about the case. Anna
Yeah.
Kane, she is the ex-wife of an NHL player, Evander
Mm-hmm.
Kane, and she had
Mm-hmm.
to reveal herself in December of 2024. She had to reveal herself after a judge ruled the case cannot proceed anonymously, but it was also because of this situation here where people were coming out saying they were this person.
Not people,
Now,
this one person.
this, this woman,
And this one
with
person was in several videos that added up to more than 15 million views on YouTube. More than 15 million. Imagine what that actually did to the jury pool.
yeah, she stayed on the video. Um, she stayed with an angle like this, like uh, yeah, like promoting that she Louise. Like it was pathetic. You could just tell, just ghetto is all outdoors, man. Just yeah, I was in the DNG shirt. Look at my lace front. Look at my man. They should have never gave you ninjas internet. That's on my mama. Yeah, look, she was doing the most, but the judge said that she couldn't file anonymously, and it wouldn't even be able to proceed anonymously. But it was thanks to this thing here. Um, and y'all see how the internet works. I do have a mini doc that I'm going to be producing. It'll be out in a few months about how the internet sleuths, how they put cases on people, how they interfere with cases. It's going to be interesting. You know, y'all already know we coming with it,
Yam
but the
J,
internet, what happened?
I don't know. Yam J said She made a joke
Made
of
a joke.
herself. And
Yeah,
I'm like, she was already a joke, honey. That's why she didn't have a problem selling it.
yeah. So back to Anna King. She alleged when she was 17 in 2003 that she was flown to New York City and she was drugged and uh, gang R word at Diddy's house, the recording studio. Uh, that,
Mm-hmm.
that that Puffy and Harp Pierre and another unidentified man were there, and they did the max. And everybody, you see the thumbnail, you see the picture where she's sitting on his lap, and I guess when it was filed, the civil suit was filed in the Southern District of New York. The
Mm-hmm.
defendants were, I guess, she had corporate defendants. They were dismissed from her case,
Mm-hmm.
and the focus was on Puffy, Pierre, and the other third guy. She's trying to have that third guy identify himself. So the criminal trial, there was a criminal trial that ended for Puffy in July 2025. The judge ordered the party to refile a revised schedule um, so they can get the civil case moving.
You want to
So
know
that's
what's
where we're at.
sad? These cases were already filed and waiting to go to trial before the Diddy trial. And then the Diddy trial comes along and he gets acquitted of RICO in this trial. And now all of their cases have to be amended when all of the details that they have in their case lines up with RICO charges. And they should have been attached to the first trial. Like I've been saying, welcome to all 107 people in the room. We would appreciate if we
Oh,
could get
thank
at
you, y'all.
least 50 likes.
Please hit the
Please don't
like
forget
button.
to
Hit the
like.
like button. Hit the like button, please.
Um, yeah, I mean, we're not just a bunch of adults sitting over here crank calling people whose phone numbers we shouldn't have, harassing them for clicks and views. We're actually over here having a real conversation about real current events, not defaming people just for the hell of
Right,
it. So,
right.
yeah, I don't know. It just kind of baffles me because it's like everything was orchestrated so well. The simple fact that all of the civil cases were put on ice that were already filed in wake of this federal trial, and now that the federal trial has fallen flat and fallen short, all of these other charges are now kind of being swept under the rug, and this is being dismissed and that's being dismissed when all of them, man, if you had all of these people on the stand, if the little Rod had been on the stand for that trial, if Anna Kane had been on the stand for this trial, do you honestly think it would have been dismissed? I
No,
mean, a lot of the abuses that Little Rod is talking about happened while he was working in a work capacity on the job. He was hired to be a producer, and instead, he was made an sex slave and he was, harassed. And not only that, he wasn't even paid. He was he was denied a proper salary and just being treated like some kind of hanger oner. And not only that, the simple fact that young Miami wasn't forced to testify, the simple fact that she never even made it to the stand, and yet Little Rod mentioned her in his lawsuit on multiple occasions, being
yeah,
involved with the buffoonery and all of that stuff going on. So I'm just trying to figure it out. Like, it's yeah.
yeah. They dropped the ball, in my opinion, but I think it was purposely dropped because it's, I guess, liabilities. If the RICO was attached, And that's why I said I did want to talk about the other case that you're named in, and you've answered to it, and you got proof to show that you could not have been involved in the other Diddy assault case that's put forth by Ashley Parham, who's being represented by a person named, you know, uh, Sean R. Perez too, and another attorney. So I honestly think Rico was to kind of get everybody it was like a sweep. It was almost like the ice raids where they were just going around, going around raiding, and it would have gotten a bunch of people in the trap. The situation with them dropping that Rico or not being able to prove the Rico, and now all these other cases have to be amended. That's saying a lot, and so I think somebody's covering trying to see why. I'll say it like that. So you being involved in that other case, and there was no way for you to have been involved. You were nowhere near that city, nowhere near that side of the country at the time. So what was really up with that? I'm gonna do my deeper dive, and I'm gonna do my mini doc, and I'm gonna talk about it because I think there are other, of course, there's other things at play, but there are other people that were there
What did
that
I tell you from the very beginning when they mentioned me in that case? And I said, this isn't true. It's a lie. It never happened. I said, the only value of putting me in that case is to tank it, to
support it.
save
Yep,
Diddy, to save
yep,
Diddy.
yep. Do we want to go there, or should I? Because that I was gonna kind of touch up on that.
Like I said it from the very beginning. That's the only thing that I hate about me being mentioned in this case is that I know it's killing a real victim's case. And it's so interesting because Jay Mizak said earlier, no, Carisha being involved in the trial, she would have only helped him. Not necessarily. And the reason why I say not necessarily is because Carisha was actually caught with two seat on her. She was caught with two seat on her. They had
And she
evidence
didn't
of
catch a
her,
charge. She didn't catch a charge or nothing.
not that we know of, at least nothing that was made public. I mean, don't forget, not long after all of that happened, she got very quiet. She went off the radar very quietly. She was throwing her little casino parties, collecting money on the low and stuff like that, but she went off the radar. And I wouldn't be surprised if they told her, keep your mouth shut. I mean, if his DRUG mule got immunity, what makes us think that there wasn't some kind of deal made with Carisha?
Yeah,
Her being on the stand, even if she would have tried to lie for Diddy, with that being a fact, it would have been hard for them to deny what was actually going on. The
yeah,
simple fact that the the firearms with no serial numbers and all of that. Like, I think we're
yeah,
forgetting, like, there's a lot of evidence that just was not presented that went under the statute to prove the RICO. This case was intentionally tanked, in my opinion.
yeah. No, I'm in agreement. And yeah, as soon as your name was mentioned, because the first time we heard about that, there was no Jane Doe or no John Doe attached to that, and it was just a story. And I was like, wow. And then of course we hear things in the backdrop about, well, who really was there, and I said, ooh, okay. And we're not saying nothing because because it's sensitive, and plus your name is still attached to it, but you're going to be exonerated from that. And then the way people are moving to just put your name in something, all that's going to be scrutinized and looked at differently, because obviously them using your name, like the science behind them trying to use your name to attach your name to this case, essentially to discredit you, and then make the case
But
look just like fantastical, like a Lamisha Fuller story.
hmm, that part.
So yeah, and then like back to the Lamisha Fuller situation where she was on panel with you, and they really were trying to make y'all like, yeah, like y'all were a like y'all had a relationship, like you known her. It's like
No,
you
she tried to make it seem like we had a relationship. The content creators, Sean Atwood and Ron, were trying to create some kind of a possibility that maybe I had just forgotten and she was this and she was no. And I made it very clear that everything that they were saying was impossible. Their timelines were completely wrong. Everything was off. And it's just so funny because you tell the truth, people don't want to believe you. You point out a lie, people would rather believe the lie than listen to the
yeah.
truth. And it just really makes you, you know, I think about that scripture that my dad gave to me and Shabbat Shalom, the Sabbath is coming, you
Hmm.
know, for they will not believe the truth. I will send them strong delusion and allow them to believe a lie. And it's really, really wild. But the question is, why haven't any of these fake Diddy people? Where is Adria English? Where is Courtney Burgess? Where is Chris Todd? Where is
Where's Rocco
Lamisha
Fowler?
Fuller?
Remember Rocco Fowler? Like they were
Yeah,
Rocco
yeah,
and her
Mr.
were.
NK Ultra. I stopped watching Sean after I saw him have that weirdo on there talking about NK Ultra and he was a Diddy victim. And I'm just like, oh, y'all really trying to ruin this case because I don't think people understand. After seeing all that, the second that people started coming forward and saying that they were Diddy victims, everyone was tuned in. Everyone was watching. How
Mhm.
is it that Sean Atwood and Ron and all of these fake Diddy people have not been questioned by the authorities for the part that they played in making everything about this case unbelievable leading up to the trial? There were people that were sitting there that were spouting the reason why they couldn't be part like impartial jurors is because of everything they saw online. You don't think that it was these videos that was doing that? We're talking about millions and millions of views, and these videos were given the green light. They were given all of the access in the algorithm. And then for those who
Mhm.
were able to use me and attach my name to it, it just made it hyper speed even more. And that's why they got upset and they wanted to find a way to slow me down or find a way to impeach what I was saying because I was
Mhm.
pulling the pin out of their stories. I was pulling the pin out of their lies. Of course, it tainted the jury pool because
Yeah.
guess what? For those who made it into the jury pool, and I'm sorry, I think everybody is starting to really understand that jury. There was something funny on that jury. There was a lot of funny business on that jury. But
Yeah.
for those who might have been real, imagine how many of them saw a Lamisha Fuller video or saw an Adria English video or saw Courtney Burgess on News Nation. Like, I mean, at one point in time, didn't they sit with Chris Cuomo? And everybody's trying to make Courtney Burgess out to be
Mhm.
this really
Mhm.
successful entrepreneur. The man can barely speak English. Like seriously.
Courtney Burgess has to be related to that one guy who went viral for going to video court for driving on a suspended license, and he showed up to video court in a car driving, and they looked the same. They looked similar. Everybody, y'all remember there was this guy who wasn't supposed to be driving, and he went to court for driving on suspended license, didn't have his license, and he showed up in traffic court in video cam in a car driving,
I mean, this was during the pandemic, so yeah.
and he looks like Courtney Burgess. Courtney Burgess is just and again, I was going to mention Mo Preem. I guess I can talk about it too a little bit because Mo Preem had something to say recently to Drake. I was going to do a totally separate video, um, but uh, Mo Preem and Mo Preem's dad had a run in with Courtney Burgess, and it's just like, yeah, he's a known fraud. Like he took Baba Shakur's book and said it was his, said that he wrote it, and proceeded to sell it. He had it up for sale up until a few months ago, until legally he had to take it down. He's a fraud. He was fraud. He had his name attached to that. He's a fraud, and they
And his
allowed
partner,
him. Well, again, yeah, his partner, but they allowed him onto that platform. They had him sit with you a couple of times, and he was so disagreeable and argumentative, and you could tell just something wasn't. He was a few cans short of a 6 pack. My dude was five sandwiches short of a picnic. Like Courtney Burgess, come on. You got to look at people's track records, right? Your reputation is everything. That guy is pretty much a fraud. And anybody attached to him, I was always looking at him sideways.
Chris Todd.
Boom.
You
Yeah.
want to know what's
Chris
sad?
Fraud. Chris Guzzi.
Them and what they did with the distorted Kim Porter memoir. And, it's just wild. People were so quick and so hasty and so willing to accept that book, but I'll be sure can't even get his book greenlit.
Right.
Um,
Right.
people were willing to believe a bunch of lies coming from a bunch of internet con artists, but the man that was actually married to her and had a child with her can't even get can't even get the book off the ground. Like, are people not seeing how hard these people are working to stop the truth? I just I'm just really I'm really hoping that Anna Kane, I'm saying a prayer for her. It's a Sabbath,
Hmm.
but every
Yeah.
day, while she's on trial, guys, her case her case was disrespected on so many different occasions here, especially
Right.
on YouTube,
Yep.
before it ever made it to court. We really do owe it to her to say a prayer that she can make it, that her case can make it to some kind of real resolve. It's just disrespectful, man. It's disrespectful.
Yeah, man. It's very disrespectful for her to have to have gone through that and all the lies that were attached to, well, not her case, but to her name, because her case is moving forward. And I mean, what's going to be the outcome? Like, how long should the civil case um, last? Like, that's a good question. I'm trying to figure out how long will that um, uh, because it's very tricky when you're dealing with like criminal and civil. And I guess they're saying it depends on motions and discovery and whether the parties reach a settlement. Um, so the case pretty much was paused when the criminal trial was going. So after the criminal trial was done in beginning of July, The judge orders the parties revise the schedule, and that basically just means that it's going to restart. And since the Rico situation didn't happen, it forced Diddy. That trial now the trial is focused on Diddy, and that may shorten the discovery because if you have a broad RICO case, it'll take longer. So it could take 9 to 18 months because of the track, the traffic, and the motions. So yeah, it might be a while. We might get something. Um, I mean, well, Diddy's is scheduled to be sentenced October 3rd. Let's talk about
Mm-hmm.
that real quick. He is scheduled to be sentenced October 3rd. People are saying that the judge looked at previous convictions of things similar to what Diddy had put on him, what he's been charged with the Mann Act. So
Yeah, it's not the same,
it
and it can't be the same.
was not going to be the same.
It can't be
There,
the same.
it,
Nobody
there's
has
a
the same
lot.
circumstances.
No, not like him. And I'm still curious because we talked about different things within this trial that didn't come up, like the GUNs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will that
Or
be
the
factored in, or the DU or the DUs, right? DRUs. Will those be factored in? But they're saying that the judge could give him minimum is time served, max 20 years. I think it's just going to fall somewhere in the middle where he'll get about 10 years. That's what I'm thinking. What do you think? Okay, did you fall off? What happened? Can't hear you. Okay, I guess Jag is having technical difficulties, but yeah, it's looking like that the judge is going to more than likely sit somewhere in the middle because time served versus 20 years. Diddy could be looking at about 10 years, so it's probably going to be somewhere between 5 and 10. Yeah, Jag again. We got to get you another phone. I already know that because I got a feeling that after a while, phone the way it's being used, the battery gets hot and it pretty much the battery life is on its way out when you start having those types of issues. But when you come back, I just want to get your take on how long you think he will get. Now the Menendez brothers, they did 30 something plus years and they went up for parole. And I think one of the brothers went up for parole and they denied him because he was doing some things. He wasn't on good behavior in prison, and I think they predicate a lot of things on your past. Puffy should have been caught up for the stuff that he did in '99, 2000. That didn't happen. He didn't catch a case because of that. He was exonerated from that or whatever. But he was guilty as all hell when you really know and you see what's going on, right? Now, even Puffy's attorneys basically was like, look, Puffy is a threat or violent. They said he was violent. And they know that he's a potential flight risk. That's part of the reason why he never got bonded out or bailed or anything like that. So Puffy's not gonna get a slap on the wrist. I don't think he's gonna get no like less time than 5 years. He's probably gonna get 5 years or more. I'm thinking between 5 and 10 years. That's probably what's gonna happen. And again, he has like 80 something different civil cases attached to um, I guess all of the cases that they were being held up because they were waiting for the criminal trial to be done. Uh, Jack, if you're not on in 5 minutes, I'm going to kill it. You already know. Um, okay, there you go. So Jag, I was just running down the list. Yeah, we got to replace your phone. I already know what that is. Um, but again, I was just running down the list of things that. Well, I'm just guessing. Puff may end up getting between 5 and 10 years, more closer to 10. So what I was saying before your phone got hot was the judge looked at different cases and said, "Hey, something similar sentencing that happened to this individual who got hit with the same convictions. It's looking like it ranged between 0 years and 20 years." I
Hmm.
think that's what the judge was looking at. And I had asked you a question. I said, "What do you think? How much time do you think he's going to get?"
I mean, honestly, I don't even want to speculate. I just want him to give him some time. I want him to give him some time. I just want to get it done. Like for real, for
Yeah.
real. Like I don't even want to
Uh,
speculate. Give him what it
no,
is. I mean, the truth is he deserves everything. He deserves a book thrown at him,
he deserves
and
20.
everybody knows
He
it.
deserves 20. He deserves 20.
You know,
I agree. He deserves 20.
but it's at this point in time. We already see that things ain't what people should. What should be happening. It ain't happening. It's not happening. And that's sad because, like, let's just be honest. This is America now. This is what America has come to. If you have
Yeah.
enough money,
Unfortunately.
you can make someone's life a living hell. If you don't have enough money, you can't even defend your own civil liberties and rights.
Right. Right.
It's kind of pathetic. You know, it's bought and paid for justice, which is crazy because
Yeah.
it's the exact opposite of what this country has been selling itself to be for so many years. You know, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and justice for all, and justice is blind. No, it's not. No, it's not. Because there's a color that justice seems to see in this country very often, and it's green.
Brett. Brett Fresky, I appreciate it. Hey, any twos and fews, it'll help me through for real. So I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know I don't be on here begging for anything, but if you want one of these shirts, if come get one, man, and I'm gonna shoot you a DVD. I know y'all like you gonna shoot me a cassette tape, man. I was promoting. I had these cassette tapes, and I still have a few
Hmm.
where you attach them to your computer. It has a USB, and I would have the whole thing was set in the West on there. So when I produce the micro docs, I think that's what I'm gonna do is attach it to something like that. Get a shirt, get the DVD, and then get um, the USB tape cassette. I'll put music on there, all that type of stuff. But we
Oh,
appreciate you, man.
that's so cute, like a old school throwback
Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
In fact, hold
Nice.
on. Y'all want to see it? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Go ahead, take over.
No, I just like at the end of the day, I know that, people have come to look at me like I know everything, or people like to tell everybody, oh, she knows everything. I don't. What I do is I pay attention. I pay attention to what's going on. I pay attention to what's happening. And I think, I just hope that the judge is listening to his conscience and weighing his conscience. A lot of people have been saying from the very beginning, he might get 10 years, he might not. If he gets 10 years, that's great. What I do hope is that people in our government, while he is away, while he is being held, will see the value in looking into the rest of these civil cases that are coming up against him and seeing the need to create a civil, you know, from civil to federal departure
Yeah,
Yeah.
Um, oh, Greg, you should be able to find the link here on the channel if you're looking for one of the t-shirts. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it just go to the front, just go to the main stage or the main, what am I trying to say? The main page for YouTube or Set in the West, and you will see the link, and it'll say, Shopify, yada yada yada, etc.
I felt the same way when it came to Tory Lanez. There was a lot of people that were coming to me asking me what I thought was going to happen, and I was told,
You optimistic, right?
honestly,
Or no?
no, I was told honestly from the very jump of Tory Lanez trial that he was going to be found guilty no matter what.
Wow,
And
wow.
I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. They can't let that happen. And you know, somebody who had some pull, who was, working in that courthouse, told me that it was already fixed. It was a done deal. That's what it was going to be. And people were sitting there, everyone was weighing in and they kept asking me. And I could have said it back then, what I was told. I could have shared that information. But I said, you know what? I'm praying that it doesn't go that way. I'm praying that it happens. I'm praying. And not only that, I didn't want to put the person who gave me that information, in any kind of harm or jeopardy. Because the truth is, if I had came saying that, you know, at the beginning of the trial, everyone in that courthouse, once the word got out that I was saying that, they would have most definitely started looking for who could have possibly said it. And
Yeah,
that could have put that person in some harm's way. And if people were that determined to see Tory go away for a crime he didn't commit, that also could have put somebody's safety in
yeah,
jeopardy as well. And you know, it wasn't. I didn't see it as a smart thing to do. Let's say
no,
I didn't see it. I didn't think it was worth putting someone's life on the line. Um, or even have them lose their job when they were just keeping it 100 with me. Uh, yeah, man, it's there's a lot that's just wrong with our justice system. There's no justice in it. I've come to learn that, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm so skittish when it comes to even dealing with stuff in my own personal life. I look at what happened to me. I've been forced to be jailed and sit in jail for months at a time, fighting charges for things that I couldn't have done or for things that should have never been charged. I was held in Chicago for nearly 4 months straight, waiting to get a trial, even though they had far past their indictment period. They didn't follow any of the rules. Everything was wrong. I was held. I was forced to lose my job. I was forced to lose custody of my son, all to get to trial and sit there with the judge, which, by the way, I didn't do a jury trial. I did a bench trial. And I'm so glad that I was smart enough to know and to listen to my public defender because I beat two felony charges in Cook County in an election year with 180 court documents and a PD and my testimony. And the reason why I did not do a jury trial is because of exactly what happened at Diddy's trial.
yeah. It would have been a spectacle.
See, when you
It
sit, no,
definitely
but
would
see,
have
not, listen to me. And they would have used it as a moment to create a humiliation ritual for me. Um, because there was no jury, it was just the lawyers and me and the judge, and that was it. And see, you got to understand something. When you have a jury trial, it opens up the door for their bias to come into play. It also opens up the door, especially if your jury isn't sequestered, for them to be approached by people in the backdrop,
been.
for them to be swayed. What if you're on the jury, somebody's on the jury and they're not a, a fan of you because of
Right.
something else? And understand this also happened long before I started doing exposures. Actually, my trial in Chicago is part of the reason why I started exposing things the way
Yeah.
I was exposing things, because I saw how unfair this stuff was, and the information needed to get out. People needed to be made aware, and people needed to know that as long as we're afraid and we keep letting these people get away with red rum, guess what? They're going to continue to keep getting away
Yeah.
with red rum. It's just that simple. They're going to keep getting away with it. And yeah, so for me, when I look back at that, when a judge sits before you and it's left up to the judge, that means the your prosecutors, they present their case. You and your lawyer, you present your case. A judge has to go by the letter of the law. If they do not go by the letter of the law and they decide to go another way with it, it can be appealed. And if it is appealed, it goes on their record. And the one thing that no judge wants is
Yep.
to be appealed.
Yep.
No judge wants to be appealed because they're
Yep.
elected. And if they lose their seat because of their one appeal can be enough to remove somebody from the bench. And guess what? We got to my first day of trial. And guess what happened on my first day of trial?
What happened?
I was granted bond. My bond was dropped from 150,000 to 30,000. I was allowed to bond out. I was allowed to go back to Texas. I came back for the rest of it. And guess what? Guess what happened? Everything was dismissed. Want to know why everything was dismissed? Because the state of Illinois, the city of Chicago, Cook County, never had jurisdiction to hold me or to charge me in the first place. They never had jurisdiction.
But you see how God works. He puts you there to sit you down, but then now moving forward, you're gonna get $100 million out of this whole situation because yeah, that's crazy though. Like from a technical standpoint, they weren't even supposed to even hold you, and then
They
yeah,
drugged
that
me
was
there on
basically a
a
kidnapping.
they drugged me there on a governor's warrant
That was
for
kidnapping, and that's because
a nonviolent
somebody,
crime.
somebody had
Exactly.
yeah, exactly, yep,
Somebody had the money and the juice
to make that
to get
happen,
me there, to get
and
me there. And guess
that's
what?
why I
And
rock
guess
with
what?
you. Yeah,
Everybody was attached to Obama and Obama's administration.
boom,
And
and that's
guess
why I'm
what?
not mad at you.
My ex-husband, my first ex-husband, was selling them clothes out of the Ralph Lauren store there, just like he was still selling clothes to the Roots, who are ingratiated and loyal to Rock Nation, Live Nation, and the Jigga Man. And that's why I've always said it. If I am innocent, if I know I'm innocent, I'm not asking for a jury. A judge is going to look at that evidence, and a judge is going to have to tell me to my face I'm guilty of something that I did not do. We did we there was no testimony, there was no nothing. The judge looked at the paperwork and said, "Let this woman go. Nulle prosecute."
That's a damn shame, and they get a lot of us like this. They'll get a lot of people like this. Um. Oh.
And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I sat, because if I hadn't have, I would have spent $50,000 just to get
Mhm.
that answer.
Now check
Instead,
this
I
out.
sat.
Check this out, because we're talking about injustices. I just figured out and I found out something today. So you heard about a couple of days ago the Epstein victims are gonna compile their own list. You heard about that, right?
Thank God. Thank God for
But
them.
you know why they're doing that?
I mean, I would say, in all honesty and real life assumption, they're doing that because the government is refusing to release it and to force the
Um,
government to release it. That's what I'm assuming.
well, this is what I learned. The they want to give this list to Congress
Mm,
so that someone can go on Congress floor and read them. But listen, I just found out that it is just like we found out the other day. It's legal for under the Obama administration. It's legal
mm,
for the government to run propaganda on its citizens. It is legal for a Congress person to get on the Congress floor and say whatever, and it could be lies, it could be all kinds of stuff, and they will not be prosecuted. So you see
mm,
why they're trying to get this list, and they want to get it over to uh, the people in Congress, and we'll see where it goes from there. But I have a belief that the Epstein list, the Diddy tapes, Trump using them. That's just what I believe. Now, y'all ain't got to take my word, but I think Trump is using them to. He did that to get the big, beautiful bill passed. Like I'm telling y'all, man, y'all don't be sleep and don't be, you know what I mean, like for real. But that's what
let's
I
be
believe. But
very honest. Let's be very honest. Everything that they got out of Diddy's house was the other half of everything that was missing from the Epstein files,
boom,
in my opinion. And guess what? You take two of those things, it's like putting together one of those charm lockets. You remember those lockets where you take it and break it up into two halves, and one person keeps one half and the other person keeps the other half, and then you put them both together and it creates everything? It creates everything, right?
hmm
I think that that's what's going on. I think that there's a very big possibility that that's what's happening. That's what's going on. And yeah, I mean, with something like that, you could blackmail the whole world, allegedly, and get whatever you want.
yeah, man. Well,
And get whatever you want.
I'm gonna wrap it in a second. I wanted to show this. This is a real cassette tape player. I used to make like my first rap and tapes. This is a real cassette tape. This is one of the tapes that me and the homies used to do beats on right here. Shout out to my Outworld brothers. But this is a
I
real
remember
life.
recording.
Yeah, we used to record. Remember to stop and record. Like I have the ability to record on here. I can do that.
I used
Like
to record my vocals on cassette tapes back in the day when I was doing my demos.
your
It we
demos,
we
yeah.
learned how to take it. Well, we learned how to take it and
You got
splice it
it.
because it used to be you
it
could only get one or two, but we learned how to splice it so you could get four vocals on one cassette tape.
dope,
And
dope.
yeah.
No, we I still have like 16 tracks. We used to record on like an 8 track and a 4 track, and
Hmm.
my dude was recording on 4 tracks, and I was like, "Look, bro, I just bought a duplex sound card. I can record and play at the same time." Because I was back in the day, you couldn't record and play at the same time on computers.
Mm-mm. No.
And
Yeah.
they had just regular sound cards and they had the duplex, and that was like a thing. It was all. And then when I had the duplex and I went and got a CD burner, oh, it was a wrap. And this was like 98, 99. Wasn't nobody doing that. Like it was not
No.
like how it is now.
See,
And I
I'm
was one of the
talking.
first ones. No, I know you talking about
I'm talking about the
early
early
90s.
90s.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm talking
This is
about the
what this is
early
what I started
90s
with.
before.
I started with this. I
That's
started with one
called
of these.
somebody who has the passion for
Yeah.
music. God.
If you were splicing tapes, you man, I didn't want to play that. But what I was saying, look, Jag. In fact, when we release like some visuals and stuff, I think I'm gonna reach back out to this company because I was making a deal with them and they had these going. This was years ago, but I forget how
Mm-hmm.
many gigabytes of. data was on here, but it replicates. It's just it's just a USB, but it looks cool. Um, but we of course we got some other technology that we're gonna run with. But I might just like start out with these. Start with like 100 of these. So when set in the West, I don't think I'm gonna ever just digitize this. It's already out there on the streams or whatever. If you want the DVD, you order a shirt. I'll shoot you one. But I'm gonna put DJ Rectangle. That's what's up. I'm gonna put all the micro dots because I'm just gonna be cutting up all kinds of stuff. I have so many interviews with like uh, General Jeff, rest in peace. I have so much content with Funkenstein. So like, oh, my battery down. Damn. So imagine, you know, me putting all the raw, not raw, but just unedited content here. You know what I'm saying? And the ones who really want it, like $50, boom, and I'll just ship them out to you, and then the regular stuff will be for the regulars. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to
It's a
just,
hell of a
you
time
know,
capsule.
yeah, yeah. Well, set in the West was definitely. So what I'm planning to do though is just expand on it because it's a unique situation. No one's ever done. Oh, it ain't that long. Okay, no one has ever done a doc like how I did it because everyone knows the origin story of East Coast hip hop. Everybody,
I
even you,
mean,
Jack, I'm
well,
sure you know.
some people think they know. The truth is as the time has gone past, there's been a lot of details that weren't, you know, they weren't so
Yeah.
accurate. And I don't
So,
like the way Philly got played under the bus.
well, well, see, that's a conversation that you and I should have because as I'm doing set in the West, we need to be doing other regions because hip hop ain't regional no more, but the regional talk needs to still be talked about. Like, you know, Miami bass, it wouldn't be no Miami bass if it wasn't for like JJ Fad. Come on, let's keep it a buck. If it wasn't for like JJ Fad and Supersonic, shout out to Arabian
Hmm.
Prince, you know, even Egyptian Lover, there wouldn't be no Miami bass without them. And then we talk about Philly, it's the same thing. A lot of good, dope. The genesis of a lot of dope hip hop came out of Philly.
Yeah,
It got stuck into New York, and not a lot of people in Philly their credit.
yeah,
So that's kind of what we need to be talking about. And again, it's not like hip hop started in '73. It's always been here. So we're gonna chop it up because the thing is that this is just gonna be an ongoing thing. It's like it's up to us to really get out here and talk it because when we let these other people come out and say or do documentaries, they have it all twisted. They be Funky
no.
came down from bars and played the DJ, played the drums, and
Listen to me.
they
The
they'll have
second
it.
that they started letting Fat Joe talk about hip hop and the origin of hip hop, I was done.
Yeah, yeah.
I was
He
done.
said, oh, he said it was 50-50 Latins and blacks. And it was like,
No, it wasn't.
no, because even the Latinos who were into hip hop, they would get called dogged out. They'd call all kind of derogatory names. So there was Latinos in hip hop, but it wasn't. Come on,
Not like
but
that.
that's a whole other conversation. But I definitely want to talk about Philly's influence on hip hop versus New York. So we could do something about the East Coast origins of hip hop, the true origins, and kind of talk about because they talk about all the greats that came out of New York, and they're still around. So that's dope. That's why I was like, I'm glad I grabbed what I grabbed here because I grabbed Dr. Funkenstein, may he rest in peace. I grabbed um, uh, DJ. I'm sorry, Greg Everett from Ocho Wave, may he rest in peace. Don Campbell, who's like our forefather of hip hop. He was like our Cool Herc. It started with the dance movement. May he rest in peace. General Jeff from where they sampled that one joint from uh like not like yeah like that. They sampled like that. It was from Rodney O and Joe Cooley. General Jeff was the other guy from Rodney O and Joe Cooley. Got him. May he rest in peace. I got Professor Griff. I got Black Dot. I got my man Siddiqui Bakari. Um, Russ Parr, Greg Mack, not Craig Mack, Greg Mack from Payday. look, I went and grabbed a lot of people that were there because we got so many people that come in front like they were there, but they never were. So imagine if we went, me and you, Jag, went to like New York to talk to the people who were like there, right?
I
But
hear
then
what
we
you're
go to
saying.
Philly, we go to Philly, and we talk to the people who were there as well, and they have documented. Well, we did a house party here. We did this, and like, I mean, it would be an interesting project that we could work on.
You want to know the
So I'm
problem
just
with that
saying,
when it comes to Philly? All of that stuff
what's the
that you're
problem?
talking about, it got swallowed up by New York. All of our stuff was
I know,
underground. Everybody was
I know,
auditioning to be down with New York.
in New
Everybody.
York.
Everybody was auditioning to be down with New York because see that's where the labels were. See that's part of the reason why Philadelphia hip hop never really got the shine that it should have got because everybody was busy trying to make it in New York. New York was right up the street. New York is where you had to go if you wanted to get the budgets. And guess what? That's what it was. When you think about three times dope, when you think about,
Mhm.
you know, EST, all of them, they all bow down. They bow down to the
Yeah,
system. Um,
yeah,
Schoolie D, PSK.
hmm
I mean,
hmm
a lot of people, man, there's so much Philadelphia hip hop that just, and we had so many great DJs. That's the funny thing about it. We had great DJs, excellent
Jag.
MCs, but everybody bowed down to everybody else. So, I would like
This,
to, you want to know what would make the most sense to get the history
what's
of hip
that?
hop from? The DJs.
Well,
Those are the
there
people
you
you
go.
need to talk to for Philadelphia. The
There you go. No,
DJs.
that well,
Spinners.
Uncle
Because they were
Uncle
the
Jim's
ones that went
mom.
back and forth. They were the ones that went back and forth between Philly to New York, copping New York tapes and then selling Philly tapes up there. There would be times, the culture of it all just would overlap. I used to go up to New York and bring out whatever hot tapes was coming out of New York that was going to be on Hot 97 or whatever and bring it to Philly and sell it in Philly hot before it showed
Hmm
up in the stores and all of that, before it even
hmm
showed up on the radio. So there's a lot of history there that needs to be covered. But
Well,
at the end of the
here,
day, Philly sold out. We
here's
sold
where I
out.
would go. Here's what I would do.
North Jersey
Is
gets
everybody,
more respect in hip hop than Philly do.
if I was to do a project like this, it would be tri-state, and I would also, DMV, because I would make a comparison to how Go-Go just stayed regional. And Go-Go is dope. I like Go-Go, but it didn't
Hmm.
do what hip hop did because it stayed within the DMV area. Imagine if Go-Go only
Hmm.
the only national song I remember that was Go-Go was that EU the butt, right? So
Really? Chuck
imagine,
Brown.
yeah,
Bustin' Loose?
well that
Bustin'
too.
Loose.
Okay, that Bustin' Loose was one too, yeah.
Bustin'
But
Loose
I'm
was the
saying
first go-go song
no,
to
no,
go
no, it was. You're
national.
right. No,
Chuck
you're right. My
Brown.
bad.
Salute to Chuck Brown.
You no, you're right. Salute to Chuck Brown. You're right. But what I'm saying is, think about it. It's almost like Afro beats, right? I'm gonna keep it a buck. Afro beats is Afro beats, and it's cool. But Afro beats ain't ever gonna be hit. It
House
ain't gonna hit
music.
like how hip hop hit. House music, same thing. House kind of
Afro beats was set up to be the next extension kind of house
of house.
music because house
Yeah,
music was such like a force and it was hard for anyone to break in there so they kind of
yeah.
created it like their own little subset.
But
You
but
know what I
that
mean?
killed it.
Like drum
But
and
that killed it.
bass. No, but
Drum and bass.
drum and bass was more akin to house music
The
than
house. Yeah.
Afrobeat was. Afrobeat was like what neo soul was for soul music.
Okay. But
It
see,
made it
conversations
trendy.
conversations like that, and I think people would want to listen to that. So, what you were saying about Philly's DJs, well, Uncle Jam's Army was just a bunch of DJs. That's all it was. So it would make sense to talk to Philly DJs, and I would. talk to the people from Philly. I would talk to people from New Jersey. I would talk to people from New York. I'll get with people from the DMV area as well. I wouldn't make it all one, but I was saying like that whole just East
No,
Coast.
no, you can't go. You can't go to DMV. If you're going to talk region, then it's just Philly, New York, and New Jersey. You can't even
Well,
go
did you just
because
hear me? Did,
what?
did you hear me? Because I didn't say put them all in one group. I said it would be sectional because that's a different region. I understand the DMV is a different region. I'm saying
Well, not
just
just
like
that.
how okay,
DMV slides in to Virginia, slides into North
uh,
Carolina,
it's
slides
almost like
in.
the South, right?
Yeah.
I know. So what I'm saying though is it would be set up like that. Like honestly, Set in the West was supposed to be L.A. Early '70s, early '80s. Then they do the mid '80s, and then do the '90s and all the gangster stuff. And then we can talk about the Bay Area because Uncle Jam's Army was in the Bay Area. Then I can go holler at J.O. Felony. That's one of the homies. Shout out to J.O. Felony. San
Mm,
Diego, that hip hop scene. And then I was just gonna do it like Seattle. I was just gonna have everything West Coast, but that makes sense because it's
DJ
kind of like
Miz.
just 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 in that area. But no, I'm saying if I was to do something similar on that side of the coast, it would be like that. It would be like, okay, we got the Philly people, we got the 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 Jersey people, we got the New York people, and we could all get, it would just have to make sense. And then yeah, DMV is that's a different breed, that's a different situation. So then it's boom, it's there. But yeah, I mean, Lord willing, I'm gonna make that happen. It's just because like I said, as we get older, people are passing on and we're not getting the stories, the real story that we should be getting. Everything is so fake now. That's why I'm glad I grabbed it. That was lightning in a bottle set in the West. I'm glad I grabbed it because if it was a year or two later, like I wouldn't have caught Don Campbell. I wouldn't have caught General Jeff if he had passed on. I wouldn't have caught uh, a lot of people. So again, I, I'm gonna continue to keep doing what I'm doing. I don't think it's ever gonna stop because hip hop is forever, and hip hop it didn't just start in '73. Let me just say that.
No, it
But
didn't. I agree with you on
anyway,
that because I've heard too many stories about, different parts of hip hop. And I think that's the thing. Everybody was so busy trying to take responsibility for hip hop that they forgot to be responsible with hip hop.
yeah, because now anybody can do it. Everybody is doing it, and it's trash.
Well,
But
that's the thing.
we gonna fix that.
Nobody's doing hip hop. People are doing all of
Well,
this rap
technically,
crap, but they're not doing hip hop.
technically, they're not. What we're trying to do though is bring back the culture. Because look, set in the West, right? So with Jag's new stuff, she has a beanie. I mean, I'm sorry, a hoodie, and in the hoodie on the artwork, you scan it, it'll send you to a dope song she has dedicated to Angie Stone, and we can change it up every so often. So we're trying to update. And the artwork was done by the homie Art New Style. Shout out to Art. So imagine if we got a group of real hip hop group. I'm not When I say hip hop, I'm talking about all elements. I ain't talking about you just rap. Okay, that's it. Or you just a DJ. No, you get you a person that's a DJ, that's a singer or a rapper. You get a graph group, and y'all put y'all art, and that's how y'all promote. And then people can scan, or you can put your scan. You can put your QR code here, and people could, and then they can purchase your stuff. Like we got to take it to the next level. That's what they don't want. They really want everybody stagnated in some '90s and even 2000s, but '90s. No, no, no. We're in the future. Let's take hip hop to the next level. You never thought that hip hop would take it this far. We need not hip hoppers who own tech companies. We need hip hoppers who gonna buy satellites and push them up to space. We need to clean up the space junk that Elon Musk bitch ass got up there. Like we need hip hop to get to outer space. I know I sound like a nut, but I'm dead ass. Like imagine a hip hopper who owns like real tech and can really help make the world a better place instead of pushing out
I
this
hear what you're
bull
saying.
AI and all that.
But see, that's the problem. That's exactly what they don't want.
I know,
That's why they choose short-sighted people. That's why they
I know,
choose people that are only interested in the dollar that's about to be worth nothing.
I know, I know, I know. And yeah, I know. They look, before I go, this is we're gonna talk about this more in depth, but this is what me and my boy was talking about earlier. How they will get someone. We saw an example. We saw they grabbed someone from YouTube. He was on YouTube for like a year and a half, and he started getting his own crowd, and he started getting his own following, and he was doing what he was blowing up a year and a half. It took him a year and a half to get an organic crowd. They were really rocking with him. He was making a lot of money, almost like Lil Russell, right? And he said, okay, he was at the peak of his performance, all that, at the peak of where he was at, and he was making a whole lot of money, merch, this and that, all that, like, selling out shows. I think he sold out a big arena. He was selling out big arenas, and because he had a YouTube following, so he'd take those analytics and okay, I'm gonna go to San Diego because I know I got followers. I got 50,000 people. Like that's the beauty of the way the internet works now. You can kind of say, oh, I got people in Kansas City. I'm about to push out there, and and you could get it popping. That's what the beauty of it is now. So now they will look at an artist like that, and they'll pull them to the side and be like, okay, we about to offer you a deal you can't refuse, and they'll go away for some time. Because if you're too influential, you're making too much noise, you're making too much money, they got to be able to shut you down. They got to be able to control you, basically. It's really like, are you going to follow this? You got to follow this. You got to be under our control. If you're not, that's what the industry is. It's about control.
Yeah.
If you're not with it, then okay, this is what we're going to do. So, you know, that's what I'm really pushing on with this cruelty free thing. That's why I'm so anti industry. I'm never with the industry because I already know what the industry is. Um, they will grab an artist and um, yeah, Bethany, anybody will be able to scan your hoodie and they'll be able to watch it and yeah, just you know. But they'll grab an artist, he's hot, they ain't gonna let you go so far. Cruelty free gonna stop all that. It's like you're just like your life energy, just like your creativeness never ends. You just keep it. You got to know how to contain it, and it's almost like a baby. Was it rattler snake? Because the baby rattler snake has all this poison in them, and doesn't know how to control it. These new artists that come out, they're like that. That venom is just it's like no, let's show you how you can control it, and that's pretty much what I plan to do with what we're doing with cruelty free because this industry ain't gonna do nothing but hamper you down. Anything that's trying to hamper you, hold you down, it ain't for you. It is not for you. So just remember that, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the easiest way to convince people into being controlled is by tricking them into believing that they're not.
Yeah. That's
You
why
know?
Rock Nation, right? That's why Rock Nation is so just promoting the fact that they want to help independent artists and they
No,
like
they
we
want
don't
you to believe that they want to help independent artists. So once they have you locked into their little
Mhm.
network, then they can take you and they can quarantine you off. I
Yep,
mean,
yep.
there's so many dope artists that are signed over at Rock Nation that we know of that aren't being properly acknowledged. Man, it's kind of scary actually when you think about it. It's
Like
kind
I
of
said,
scary indeed.
that venom that these new artists, that them dope artists got over there, and it's just being they ain't even letting it off. They ain't even letting these artists get it off. But
No, they're signing them and then they're just shelving them.
Delvin them, yeah.
And nobody, yeah, so that
Yeah.
they can
But
continue to keep pushing out the people that they want to push out. And that's the stuff that's been happening in the art in the industry for years.
in the industry period.
Anything
Okay,
that
so
cannot be controlled is sidelined.
Okay, so my battery is about to be out, but
Dead.
look,
So go on ahead.
y'all,
This is your
y'all, y'all,
conversation.
y'all, if y'all like these, and these will be enhanced or whatever. Y'all like these? Just cop a shirt. I'm gonna have hoodies too. Dad got her hoodies. We're gonna have more hoodies coming. Just more, just different, whatever it is that we're getting moving forward with. But Jay, you like the idea? I know we got the artwork with the scannable thing on your art, but when you start
I
putting
mean,
stuff on
this is the
on the
thing.
shoulder.
Our merch is going to be our mixtapes. It's just that simple. That's where
There
we're
you
going
go.
with it.
That's it. Yep.
If you want to hear the
Yep.
music, you got to get the merch because that's where it's going to be. And
Yep.
that's the best thing that we can do to share what we have going on with the world. That it's the safest way possible. You have something that's there with you and you can keep it with you. And not only can you put it
Hmm.
on, but you can experience it on more than one level. And yeah, this is the hand to hand. This is the smash and grab that we're doing.
Hmm.
So yeah,
That's what it is,
and that's
y'all.
that.
So appreciate y'all. Y'all like on the way out. Please subscribe, and we got some good things coming. Again, Set in the West documentary screening at Compton College tomorrow in LA. Compton,
Tomorrow,
come through. Come through. I'll have some
tomorrow,
DVDs there.
tomorrow, I
And
love you.
yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Tomorrow, you're only a day away.